Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Basic to Bold podcast. Because it's the time of year where most people are making resolutions and they are really trying to figure stuff out in their life. I wanted to start with something that really drastically changed the way that I thought, and it changed the whole trajectory of my life. And that is the power of understanding. Typically, when I have been in the self-help, the healing journey world, the majority of people talk about taking action, how we need to take action and we need to move and we need to go and do stuff, which is totally true. But there was a step that everybody, for me, they wouldn't talk about it as often. And I just genuinely felt like I was either in feeling stuck or I was in this cycle of motion and I wasn't really going anywhere. And I just kept finding myself every new year or every time I try to start something new, I was always in this perpetual motion of either I'm stuck or I'm frustrated or I'm just moving. Like I'm not going anywhere, but I'm moving, I'm going. And so if you're like me, if this is you, let me tell you the thing that I have learned, and hopefully this will help you. There is a flow to the way things go. Okay. And businesses go through this. We do this as personal growth. Relationships go through this. Every area of your life goes through this process. The first step is that you have this frustration. You have this area where you feel like you're stuck. You know there's a problem, but you don't really know what the problem is. It's kind of that simple. And you're just like, what am I dealing with? What is happening? What do I want to keep going? Or what do I want? What do I want out of this? Is kind of the feeling, right? And it's kind of this frustration. You're irritated because you want to keep moving forward, but you just don't really know what to do. The next step is understanding. Okay. And this is when we get those aha moments, right? Those aha moments of like, oh, I get it. This is the problem. This is how we're going to handle it. This is where I'm going. And then it goes to action. Action is, this is what you need to do. And this sometimes seems like it's slow, right? Because you're trying to build momentum. So you don't feel like you're doing a lot. You feel like you're spinning your wheels a lot, but you're doing something, but it just feels like you're doing a lot. And then it goes into like this flow where you're just really reaping the benefits of everything that you've done. And it's kind of like this easy flow state of life. And it's the part where everybody really, really loves to be, because it's now you get to reap all the rewards, right? For all your hard work. And it finally feels like you've got momentum and you've got consistency, and it doesn't really feel like it's difficult. But what we don't realize, a lot of us, is then it goes right back into frustration. Now, you're not frustrated at the same thing, because the thing that you overcame, you already have the answer to. You're moving forward in it. At the same time, there's a new level. There's always a next level. There's always something else that you need to grow in and that you need to overcome, because we're not really good as humans. We're not really good at staying in one place. We get bored easily. Even though you could have achieved an amazing amount, we get really bored in the fact of like, I made it, now what? And you can ask anybody who's made a ton of money or who's been married for a really long time or who just really looks like they have their life together. There's a certain point where they still want more, and they're always going to want more. And we should. We're creative people. So here's the part that most people, when I would hear this, most people would focus on, you're frustrated. They would jump to, you need to do something. You need to go. You need to create. You need to have action. And so my brain, the way that I work, I'm like, all right, let's just go. Let's just let's move. We're going to create action. But the thing is I could be frustrated about business and somebody's like, just go, create action. Like, let's move. And I'm like, let's buy chickens. Let's buy ducks. And you're like, wait, what? That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. But the reality is that's where my brain goes. Like, I'm just going. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going. And the thing that I learned, the thing that I finally understood is there are people who very naturally and easily have these aha moments where they go from frustrated and they do hit a level of aha, but they're not really conscious of it. They automatically go from I'm frustrated, I'm irritated, what do I do? Oh, I'm going to do this, and they can immediately go into action. The one thing I've noticed when people are teaching this moving forward, this not being frustrated, they teach going from being frustrated and they go automatically over to action. You need to move. You need to go. And some people, that is helpful. They can do that. But for the majority of people, if you do not hit the level of understanding first, then whatever action you're taking, it does not make any sense. It doesn't move you forward. It doesn't make sense. And so I wanted to explain to you the power of understanding, because if you're just going and you're just doing, you may be getting a lot of things done, but you're not headed in the direction that you actually want to be. You're going somewhere, you're moving, but you're not actually heading in the direction that you want to be in. To get to the aha moment, the understanding moment, you have to do things that are going to open up your mind, that are going to answer these questions, that are going to find what is the problem that you're trying to solve. Most people either one don't know what the problem is, or they may know what the problem is, but they try every way around the problem than trying to actually solve the problem. So as an example, most people get frustrated in their relationships. It's just what happens. We all do it. So you're frustrated in your relationship, right? Now, what we typically do is the aha moment we have, or the problem we think we're having, is the other person is the problem. The other person is the problem. They need to change. If they would behave a certain way, I would feel better. But what is actually the problem is the way you are thinking about the situation, either the way you're showing up, or the way that you're behaving, or the way that you're understanding the situation is typically what the problem is in the relationship. You're mad for a reason because you're upset. That other person is not making you upset. They're just showing you something that you don't like. Are they showing it to you? Yes. But just because they're showing it to you doesn't necessarily mean they're the problem. And I'm not talking about extreme situations of like abuse. I'm talking about everyday couples that we are all dealing with in our typical lives. If the person is just showing you something and that makes you upset, typically you are the problem that needs to have the aha moment. Okay? And it doesn't mean that the other person can't be a part of that solution. It just means you're the one that needs to figure out what it is the problem, what the problem actually is. So as an example, I'm a woman and I am married to a man. And so I have found this is typically a woman's type of frustration, where as a woman, I will tell my spouse I will ask my spouse to do something, not tell him. As a woman, I will ask my spouse to do something. Well, in my head, I'm asking right now, like right this second. Okay. What he hears is, hey, at some point in life, from here to eternity, can you do this thing? Well, yeah, of course he can, right? He'll get to it at some point. He'll get to it. What do I mean? I mean, this second, right now, stand up and do the thing. Will you do that? And typically that is not what I convey. In the past, that's not what I said. What I said was, hey, can you do this thing? So of course, what happens? He doesn't get up. He doesn't do the thing the moment I'm asking him to do it. So then I get mad and I get frustrated. And then I think, fine, I'll do it myself. So I do it myself. Then he can't figure out why I'm mad because I really didn't give him the time to do it. In my head, I'm like, I gave you plenty of time. I don't know what the problem is. Why could you not just do it when I asked? Okay. I feel like we've all been in this situation. Here's the thing, and this is where I have recognized that this is my part in it. My part is, number one, why does it have to be done that moment that I'm asking? Okay, some things might need to be done, right? It might be on a time limit, but that is a question. Why does it have to be done? Number two, the second thing is, why didn't I just say, can you do that right now, this second? I would appreciate that. All right. That's another part. That's another part that is on me. If I didn't specify, number one, why didn't I specify? And number two, why does it have to be done? Now, some of these, you're going to be like, oh, no, it has to be done right then. Okay. That's a thing. Absolutely. We'll get there. But the third thing, and this is actually the more important thing, why does it immediately make me upset? What about that makes me feel upset? And typically, after I've looked at all these things, is what it actually is it's not that he didn't get up and do it necessarily. It's not that he didn't do it in the appropriate time. Is what it actually reminds me of is I'm alone. I can't trust anybody. Nobody's here to help. If I'm going to get anything done, I have to do it all myself, just like always. And he is proving to me that everything I think, everything I fear, that I have no help, that it's always on me, he's proving that right. And now I'm mad because I thought I married somebody different. I thought I married somebody who wanted to be a partner to me. I thought I married somebody who loved me enough to be a help, to be a part of our marriage, right? That is a whole lot more what I have just dove deep into. That's way more than just, hey, will you take this? Will you take the garbage out? That's way more. But that's typically what we do. We typically don't dive deep enough. We just jump to, I'm mad, you fix it. And again, I'm not talking about extreme situations, right? These are very everyday, normal situations that we typically all have. So the first step that you're going to do in the understanding step is I want you to take a look at what is your part in it, because you have a part. And this is not that you have to take all the blame, because your partner also has a part. Your job and boss also has a part in whatever is going on, right? Other people play parts in our lives, but you ultimately have the main role. If your life is going a specific way, you have the main role in your life. So you're the one that got you there. And you've got to back up and reconstruct how you got yourself there. Because if you can't figure out how you got yourself there, it's really hard to figure out how to get yourself out of it. If you don't know that I took a right and I took a left, that's how I got here. Then when you're trying to back up and go, how did I get here? How did I get in a relationship that's not working the way I wanted it? If you don't know how you got yourself there, it's really hard to fix it. The next thing I want to mention, this is not to add shame or guilt onto you. If you're noticing shame, guilt, I highly recommend that you do hypnotherapy, breath work, energy healing. Let that go, because that is not what is helpful in this. If you were to get yourself lost and you genuinely didn't know where you were going and the road split and we've got detours all over the place, and now you're going, I don't know how I got myself here. It does not help you to sit in the car when you've got traffic around you and go, I'm such an idiot. I'm the dumbest person alive. That doesn't help. That doesn't help you at all. What helps you is to go, no emotion attached to this. How did I get myself here? Okay, I remember it took a right. Okay, I remember it took a left. Okay, if I do that, if we do this, I'm going to look at the GPS. I'm going to do all the things. I'm going to phone a friend. we're going to get ourselves out of it. It's the same with emotions. It's the same with experiences. If you can look at it in a non-judgmental way, did you get yourself there? Yeah. Are you the dumbest person alive for it? No, because we've all done it. We've all done it in certain areas. You can look at people who are amazing and successful in business. They have relationship problems. Then you have people who are amazing in relationships, have major health problems. And you look at people with major health problems and they're broke. Like every single one of us is dealing with something. And the more that you shame and the more that you guilt yourself, that doesn't help the situation. It doesn't help you figure out how you got there. The next thing with understanding is figure out, what do you want, right? You're in a situation, you don't want this. Great. What do you want? And the thing that's interesting, just because you know what you don't want doesn't mean you know what you want. If you were to use this in relationships, let's say you have an awful partner. Let's say they're mean to you, they're critical. Great. So you don't want a jerk. You don't want somebody who's critical. You don't want somebody who uses you. Great. 3 things you don't want. That does not give you a list to what you want. It's just not a list. So the next part you actually have to do is you have to say, I want somebody who understands my love language. I want somebody who's going to be a partner. And if they're going to be a partner, what does that look like for me? A lot of times we look at social media and we see something somebody else has. And if we're not fulfilled in the majority of our lives, if we're not fulfilled in that area, and we look at other people who are fulfilled in that area, a lot of times we would look, I would like that. But if you actually know what you want, the majority of times, you don't want what other people want. Like I am very happy. The areas that I'm very happy in, I can look at other people who are also very happy and I say, good for you. That's great. I want nothing to do with that. But I'm so happy for you. I'm going to be happy over here. And they're saying the same thing to me. They're saying to me, when they look at my life, they're saying, I'm so happy for you. That looks like you're having a great time. I want nothing to do with that. I'm going to be over here. And that's how it should be. It should be that way. We should be able to look at Instagram and social media, and we should be able to say, I'm so happy for you. It looks like your life is amazing, and that is great. I'm going to be doing this. Jealousy is when you look at somebody and you want what they have, but that's not actually jealousy. That's just you looking at somebody and going, I would like that. That's noticing. Jealousy comes in when you think, I can't have that. I love comparing my life to other people, not because I'm comparing, but because I'm noticing. I'm noticing what other people have accomplished. I'm noticing that somebody else has achieved something, and I think that looks really fun. Do I want to go to Greece? And then I look at this person. That looks really fun. Do I want to go to Dubai? That looks really fun. Do I want to send my kids on a ski trip? All of these things are fine when you're asking yourself, hey, that looks like a fun experience. I would like that. Would I like that? Would I not like that? And some of the things I'm like, oh my gosh, that'd be amazing. And some things I'm like, I'm good. It's not that you can't compare. It's that when you look at it, you can go one of 2 ways. You can go to, well, I'll never have that. Or you can go, how do I get that? And if you go to the how do I get that, that's a very healthy way to look at it. If you go to I'll never get that, well, now you're in the jealous phase. And that doesn't help anybody. That doesn't help you. It doesn't have any effect on the other person. It just adds negativity to your life. So now that you figured out the problem, you figured out where you are, you figured out where you want to go, now we can take action. Now we can actually move. Now you can actually take the steps. You can do the work because now you have an idea of where you're going. It's this power of understanding that once you can really bring it into your life, once you can really take these steps and really start dissecting your life, now you can take action and you can get so much more done and so much more accomplished. If you have a good amount where you genuinely cannot take these steps, because this happens. This happens where you get stuck and you don't know what the problem is. And you don't know what's stopping you. You don't know exactly what the problem is. And you just keep going over and over and over in your mind, and you're genuinely stuck. This is where I would say hypnotherapy, energy healing, breath work. And I know I've mentioned this before, but this is such a crucial part because there's a lot of things in our minds and in our psyche and our subconscious that we genuinely can't figure out consciously. Like, we don't know why we're not doing the thing that we want to do. We don't know. When somebody says, hey, oh, you want to build a business, go do it. And then you just stop in your tracks. You don't know why. It's because our body remembers things. It's got habits. It's got stories that we're telling ourselves, but it remembers those things. And so it's stopping us. If that's the case, if that is what you're dealing with, the best way to overcome that is with breath work, hypnotherapy, energy healing. That is truly the fastest way that I know to get past that, because what it's going to do is it's going to rewire your brain into, oh yeah, I can do this. Oh, you want me to go speak in front of people? No problem. That's not a big deal. Oh, you want me to, XYZ? Sure. Yeah. You still have to do the work. It doesn't stop you from doing the work. You still have to do the work, and there's things that you're going to like doing and there's things that you're not going to like doing. You still have to do it, but it makes it so much easier. So you're not just constantly hitting your head against that wall and you can't figure out why you can't get the thing done that you genuinely want to do. If you want to try hypnotherapy, there are a couple of mini sessions that I have done. You can try them out totally for free. And that way you can start getting past all of those little mini issues that we just can't quite figure out. So thanks for watching. I trust that this podcast was helpful. If you found it helpful or you know somebody that it could help, I would really appreciate it if you shared it on social media. That always helps us. So until next time, see you guys.